Hi guys, welcome to a new video. If you're new, please consider subscribing. If you're not new, welcome back. I'm not sure where this video is going to take us, but I hope you enjoy it. Sit back, relax, enjoy. Thank you.
Okay guys, check this out. Got something super special here. We have a client's Platinum Daytona. But this is not just any Platinum Daytona because of the fact that it has the baguette cut diamond hour markers on it rather than the luminescent ones. So it's already a rare watch, but this spec makes it that much more rare. And to bring it up that much more of the top form, we did something even more special.
We made him a factory style trapeze cut diamond bezel. And you might not know this, but when it comes to the Platinum Daytona, you can actually option it with both the baguette cut diamond hour markers as well as the trapeze cut diamond bezel. So in order to visualize what this bezel is going to look like before we can actually set it onto the watch itself, I've carefully placed it on top of the factory ceramic bezel, while of course ensuring that there's no debris between the two, although it's worth noting that ceramic is one of the hardest materials in the world to scratch, although it is very brittle.
And the best part is that he could switch back to his factory bezel at any point in time. So we can go from this one to that one. It's gonna look absolutely crazy. Who is that?
Oh!
Who is that, Pete?
This is the Peter Marco mascot. Kiss. Oh, look at him. He's adorable. Hey, where's your diamonds? Hey, Papa. Hey. Oh, let me see it.
The other one?
Hi,
There you
baby. Hi. Little girl?
go. No, it's a boy, but he's
Two boys.
more...
This is called
More count
double
than the
trouble.
other one.
Double trouble.
Exactly.
This is double the love. Double the love. All right, each of you kiss one side.
Double
Okay.
love?
Double love. Come on. Double love. Oh, look at these guys. They're Peter Marco clients. I know I say it often, but I'm really, really proud of this one. It seems like I'm saying this every other day, but we just finished this for a client. It's close to 20 karat oval, D color. It has 123 grams, 23 grams of platinum, and it's got over 5 karat of D color rounds. We even put an under bezel, diamonds on the prongs. Just look at this, guys. It came out absolutely beautiful. I'm so grateful. I'm as happy as the woman who's receiving it because I was able to be involved in such a special time in their lives. It's their 25th anniversary, and they gave me the opportunity to be part of it, and I think we just nailed this one. We killed it. And I tell you, they say there's more pleasure in giving than receiving. I'm so excited for her, and I'm so happy. Thank you. I want to touch on my story today. A lot of people call me, they DM me, they email me, text me, and they want to know how I get started, how I wind up on Rodeo Drive, which I've touched on in the past on my Instagram. By the way, please check out my Instagram, Peter Marco 90210. We show our latest pieces as they come in, our newest creations, our biggest diamonds. If you want to see like up-to-date inventory on our watches and special pieces that we're doing, really unique, special, different things, check out our Instagram because we're constantly posting those things. But I get a lot of questions. People want to know where I come from, how did I get started. The brand has done really well. We're really well known at this point, really all over the world. And part of it came from being on Rodeo Drive in Beverly Hills and just doing the right thing by people. But I was a very young man in New York. Grew up in a divided household. My dad left when I was about 4 or 5 years old, and had a single parent household, and it was my sister and I. And I grew up on the streets of New York, the hard school, hardcore way. Was never handed anything, never given anything, never inherited anything. None of my family was never in the jewelry business. This is kind of like the first generation that ever got involved in the jewelry business. And learned a lot of lessons on the street. There's no school for the streets, just like there's no school for travel. You gotta live it and experience it. And I kind of worked my way around the streets, and always learned to be a stand-up guy and be a man of your word and being true to yourself and being honest and sincere, and always basically keep it real. People don't like phonies, no matter where you are, where you're from. And I just kind of hustled and did things. And then when I was 14 years old, my mother wanted to get me off the streets because I was in New York in the streets, and every summer I was getting myself in trouble, in and out of all different situations. And so she had a friend who was a jeweler in this really high-end jewelry manufacturing company in New York, in Manhattan. They manufactured real high-end jewelry. It was sort of like the Rolls-Royce of jewelry, one of the top 10 companies in the United States. And they brought me up there over the summer, and I went up there thinking, all right, let me check this out. They hired me to clean the place. I dusted, I vacuumed, I cleaned the laboratories, I did tighten up an organization, storage room, and did all that kind of stuff. And back then my mindset was different. So back then I went up there and I'm like, oh, jewelry company, maybe I'm gonna rob this place. Let me go check it out. Let me see what I can do. And I went up there, and it like changed my life. This was in 1976, and there were jewelers making $75,000, $80,000 a year. It's 1976, and there was designers and model makers making over $100,000 a year, and salesmen making like $250 to $350 a year on the road, traveling, selling. And so I knew that it was an opportunity, because right away I knew I wasn't cut out for, as you're growing up in my age, you learn, you grow up and you say, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a lawyer, you want to make that money. There's no way I was cut out for 4 years of college and internship and 4 years of medical school or law school. I wasn't cut out for that. So if I wasn't going to do it, I had to be self-taught, and I had to learn a trade. And I went back to my guidance counselor at school, and I was supposed to go to school from 7:30 to 3:30. And I worked out a situation where I went to school from 7:30 to 11:30. And then I worked at the company from 12 to 6. And then in Manhattan on 14th Street, Union Square, there was Washington Irving Night School. And I went to Washington Irving Night School from 6:30 to 9:30. And I did that for 3 years just to get enough credits to graduate high school. During those 3 years, I was working there. I was working from 12 to 6. After cleaning, they promoted me to a messenger boy. Messenger boy, it sounds funny, but that was big time for me, because I was traveling. I was delivering diamonds and picking up rubies and emeralds and sapphires and gold and platinum, supplies for the factory. So you had to show a lot of sense, a lot of street smart, a big trust value, trust factor. And I'm living it like I remember it like it was yesterday. And then after that, when everything was cleaned and the deliveries were made, I'd sit down, I'd watch the jewelers, I watched the jeweler. So I'm one of the few guys in the business that I was on the bench. I got my hands real dirty. I was a polisher, I was a jeweler, I was a diamond setter. I used to size, clean castings, assemble. You could have necklaces that you need, 300 pieces you gotta put together to make a necklace. And I did all that. And then at 17 years old, they put me in the production department. Now production, I learned all my knowledge of stones and my knowledge of diamonds. It was like hands-on training. And that opened up my whole world to a whole nother education in the jewelry business. I really learned a lot. And then 1979, I graduated high school. And I graduated in June. And the owner said to me, Pete, I think you're gonna be a good salesman. And he said, you're trustworthy, you handle yourself well. He said, come into my office. We sit down. I took a week off because I graduated. Again, I graduated alone. All the people I graduated with, they all had their families there. Their mothers, their fathers, their sisters, brothers. I graduated by myself because my family wound up moving. My mother remarried, and my family moved to Europe when I was 16. And I was 16 years old when I was working for this company, and I went out and got my own apartment. I got my own apartment in Long Island City, Queens. And I worked I went to school, I did my homework, I paid my bills, I cooked, I did whatever I had to do to survive. I was by myself. I had nobody to turn to except the people at the company to kind of guide me and give me advice. So I went out at 16 and I got my own apartment and then kept working, went in production. Then I graduated high school. I had no one, no wife, no kids, no family. So he said, I think you'd be a good salesman. He gave me a bag. The bag was $2 million. Here's a poor kid who used to put cardboard in his sneakers when I had holes in my sneakers. I was like, what am I going? What am I doing? What am I going? What do I do? He said, listen, we're gonna do this together. You're gonna get in your car. I lived in New York. He said, you're gonna drive to Hartford, Connecticut. Then you're gonna go to Boston, Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire. You're gonna go to the city. You're gonna grab the yellow pages. Back then, some of you guys might be too young, but we used to have a big book, 3-4 inches thick was the yellow pages. Look up jewelers, rip out the pages. Any jeweler that's showing big ads for watches or diamonds, that's the store you wanna sell. And so I mapped it out. I got a hotel room and I mapped that all out. And sure enough, I went to Hartford. And because I had such a high-end product, you could have 1,000 jewelers in the city, but I could only sell 1 or 2. It had to be the finest store in each city, the store that sold 90% of the richest people, because we were high-end. So I went to those stores. I went to Hartford, Boston, Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire. I sold. I came back. I sat down with the owner. I said, look, I sold all this stuff. He said, all right, now you're gonna do a big trip. He said, we're gonna restock you. You're gonna get in your car. You're gonna go Jersey. After Jersey, Philadelphia. After Philadelphia, you're gonna go to Delaware. After Delaware, you're gonna go to Baltimore. You're gonna go to DC. You're gonna go to the Virginias, Carolinas, Atlanta, Florida. I remember like yesterday, driving the whole coast. And I did that for 1 month, just living out of a bag. Hotels, just driving. I felt like a pioneer. And I started to make good money. When you work hard at something and give it your all in all and you see results, it motivates you, it drives you. And I got more confident and bigger and stronger. And the greatest thing was when I walked into a store, and here I am, 18, 19 years old, and I'm sitting down with the richest people that have all these big stores. What happens is they respected my knowledge, my wisdom, because they said, I want to do this, I want to do that. And then I said, you can't do that because it won't fall right, it won't lay right because of all my years on the bench. And so what I did was, I did that trip. Long story short, because I don't want to bore you, but for 4 years I drove the whole entire United States by car. Never got the confidence to get on a plane. I drove the whole country. After 4 years, the owner said, it was about 5 years because I started flying a little bit, and I was doing trade shows all over the country. He said, I think you're gonna be good. You did a great job at what you did. I want you to do it in Europe. So the biggest jewelry show in the world, one of the biggest jewelry shows, is in Basel, Switzerland. I went to Basel, Switzerland, same thing. I laid out the line. By the line, I need all my samples. And it was the finest store owners from all over Europe. And I was there for like 10 days. And I met store owners and buyers and agents and representatives of the finest stores in Europe. And I did really well. So I was traveling the United States and Europe. And then after a few years, the owner said, time to do Asia. And I went to Tokyo, I went to Hong Kong. I did all the trade shows. I got to know people, stores, customers. So for 25 years, I traveled the whole world. I was never on a plane in my life. I was never outside New York in my life, and I got to see the whole world. I was making money, I was traveling, meeting incredible people. To this day, a lot of these people are still in my life. And then what happened was 9/11 came. You guys kind of remember. And I was also getting tired. I was on the road 11 and a half months out of the year. I was kind of burnt. And, I met a girl, and I said, quit your job, and she traveled the world with me, and then we got married, and we traveled then. She got pregnant, and we traveled with a playpen that folded up until like 8 months. And then we went back to New York, and she gave birth. And then literally a month after that, we started traveling all over the world again. And then it got time where I had to get serious and settle down. And one thing is, I think when you grow up without a father, you know all the things you should do, because all you gotta do is the opposite of what was done for you. So for me, I didn't want to be an absentee father. I wanted to be a hands-on guy, and you start something, you gotta finish it. and I wanted to be responsible. And so I didn't want to travel and go away for 2-3 months and come home and my kid's got a beard, right? So I figure, you know, I love what I do. What am I going to do? I put the agents out. I found this location here. It's over 20 years ago now on Rodeo Drive in Beverly Hills. And I opened up a store. Originally, I opened it up, and then a few years later, I changed the name of the store to Peter Marco, which is the name of my 2 kids. And that's how I got here on Rodeo Drive. And what I did is I reached out to all those store owners and people from all over the world, and I told them I opened up. And a lot of them referred me to their Asian clients, their Russian clients, Canada, Australia, Saudi Arabia, Dubai, everywhere, all over Europe, the United States, Mexico. I traveled everywhere. So they referred me, and then, you know, the word grows. You do the right thing by people, referrals, repeats. And that's how I got here to Rodeo Drive. From a little poor boy from Queens to Rodeo Drive. I used to drive down the streets of the projects, and now I'm driving down Rodeo Drive. But you know, that's a lot of people ask me how I started, and so I just wanted to share that with you. And here I am, and I love what I do. And I'm gonna keep going strong, and I'm gonna keep taking my game up more and more, and keep making it better with better product, more special designs, more unique things. And I'm gonna keep killing it and do what I do, because I love what I do. It's not work, it's my love, it's my passion, and I love people. Thank you. At the end of the day, another great week, excited, made a lot of progress again. Always check and make sure everything's okay, and hope you enjoy the video. Thank you.